So hi everyone. So let us start our discussion. So for Unit 5, we have a reflection and it's posted on the Piazza. If you cannot access this link, so search this topic in your Piazza, and if you cannot find the this topic, this post in your Piazza, please let us know. You can email me or you can send your Piazza account email name on this chat, so I can add you after we finish this discussion. So this is very important. You have to join this discussion. You have to join this Unit 5 reflection. So for today's discussion, if a professor will join us, she will lead a discussion about this reflection. Otherwise, I will do a short demo about how to insert the data into MongoDB. This is a training work for the project A, and we will release the project A in this end of the week. So first, you should go to your canvas. If you go to your canvas, go to the files, you will find the materials of this discussion I already posted. So you can go to the week 6, and then you can see these materials there. So also you can open the slides. I think the sample project training slides is what I will show you today. So here, let's go to our slides. So here, in this training work, we will give you 3,000 profiles data. So for the project A, we will give you 10,000 profiles data. So this 3,000 profiles is sample data for you. So here in the file, we have 3,000 user profiles, and in this each line represents a user profile. So this is the format in this 3,000 sample data. So each line shows a profile there. And let's go to next. So here, each profile contains many useful information about one user. So include the user ID, username, friend account, follow count, status count, favorite count, account age, and user location. So you can see this is the format for one profile, and each field are split by the tab. So this is a screenshot of some part of the data. You can see each line will show you information about the user ID, username, and some information about the user. So you can download the data from Canvas and review it by yourself. So here first, before you do this training work, you have to start your instance, and when the instance is running there, you have to transfer this package into this sample project package into your instance. So I have already posted a tutorial about how to transfer package or transfer files into instance. Please follow that tutorial. So the tutorial name should be the transfer files into your instance, and you can find it in your cameras. Also for the Mac, you could use SCP to transfer package into your instance, and if you are using Windows, you can use WinSCP to transfer package into instance. If you have any questions about how to transfer files, you can review the Piazza post. Some student has questions about how to use WinSCP. You can go there and find some helps there. So I will do a demo for how to do this sample project. So here, when you go to your screen, oh, sorry, I have to mute everyone, mute all students here. Make sure, okay. So you have to go to your project image, because in your project image, all MongoDB is already there. You don't need to install the MongoDB, and make sure you modify the MongoDB configuration file. And you have to disable the raw access control. So if you have any questions about how to disable this raw access control, please go to the Canvas. You can find some tutorials on the Canvas files. If you're still confused about how to modify this configuration file, you can go to Piazza, and we give many helps on the Piazza to help students to solve this issue. So you have to run your project image, and then you have to transfer files, transfer this zipped package into the sample project zipped package into your instance. Then you can use this web shell to do this work. So I already opened a web shell there. So and already transferred the file. You see the sample project package file is already in my instance. So what I should do is extract the document from the zipped package. So just type in this command there. So make sure there's empty space between these three arguments parameters. So let's do it. So when you transfer package into your instance, you already have this one in this path. So your path is the home and your username. So let's extract the document from this package. So tr zxf space and your package name. So okay, someone has a question here. So can you go, so if someone has your question about the JetStream access or JetStream allocation, please go to your Exceed account and go to My Exceed and find the allocation storage tab. If there's a allocation appear in your page, it means your allocation is already there and you can try to log into the JetStream. But sometimes even students can log into the JetStream, but they cannot create any image because the JetStream side is still processing your application. So it will take several days to process it. So please be patient. So here, so when you extract a document from the package, you will see this sample project folder is created for your instance. So what's next step? So here in this package, you have 3 documents there. Two of them are stripped, and these 2 strips will help you to manage and to insert the data into it. And okay, one question. Oh, thank you, Professor. So and we have a sample data profile file there. So that's the 3000 TXT file. So let's go to our folder there. So here we have for sample project folder there. We go to into and show that there's 3 documents there, 2 strips and 1 data file. So we can check this user 3000 data. So you can see here, this is our 3000 user profiles in this text file. So here, before you insert or before you reformat the profile, sample data, you have to open your MongoDB and create the database and collection for this sample data. So let's go to our MongoDB in our project image. So here, so I already create a project. Database there. So let's show us the database. So some questions there. So let's check those questions. So I will show you this information. So here, we use MongoDB to save the data set. So that's the only thing we want MongoDB do. So here, I already create a sample project database here, and I already create a profile there. Create a collection there. So let's go to the sample project, sample project there, go to the sample project database, and there's a collection there. So there's a sample collection there. So we use this sample project database and use this sample collection to save the data for our sample data. So we have a question. So, okay. So if you create, I think I've show you the command line to how to create.
Okay, just if I may, just a moment.
Okay.
Okay, so on the chat, Rose Brendolino said, is the project that is going out the end of this week, is that the Twitter project? And yes, that is the Twitter project. You will be sucking Twitter data into your image, your JetStream image, drop it in the MongoDB database, and do some cleaning of it and some plotting of it plotting locations. And Chris, the users underscore 3000.txt, I believe is the data set that's going to be used. And no, it's not clean. And that's part of what you'll be going through as part of this project. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So you create the sample project database and create the sample collection there so you can do the next step. So first, before we reformat the dataset, you should know that the raw data file, I mean, this 3000 data file is encoded in ISO 88591 format. This is a format that the MongoDB non-SQL store does not accept. So for your project A, you still have this issue. So before you insert this data into the MongoDB, you have to convert the text file into the UTF-8 format. So the reformat script can help you to convert the format into the UTF-8. So just follow this command line. You can reformat you can reformat the ISO to the UTF-8. So let's do it on our image. So first, you go back to your sample project folder. So you will see there's two scripts there. You just need to use the reformat script. So let's go to let's reformat, and you will use you have to reformat user 3000 txt and convert it, save the new data into the user 1000 tsv. So make sure that's tsv, not the txt again. So once done, you have two dataset file there. It's one is the tsv, one is the txt. So before you insert this data into MongoDB, you have to do another thing. So the headline of user profile. So first, you should use the V editor to open the file you create. I think I already posted some tutorial about how to use V editor on our last discussion. So you can go to our last discussion slides and can find how to use that. So make sure you have to add a following line as the first line to the newly reformatted tweet data file. So because for MongoDB you have to make the key value pairs. If you just insert the raw data, the data without any field, the MongoDB cannot recognize it. So please make sure you use tab to split these fields and insert this 8. That's the 8. Seems like there's 8 fields into the TSV file. So someone has a question about that. So let's check it. Yeah, someone can use Nano. So it's same thing. Oh no, I think Nano is not installing on that. Can you try that? I'm not sure because I just tried the V editor there. So if you can test it, it can help a lot of students to understand what will happen if they use Nano there. Okay, great. So thank you for your help. So let's go to our image. So here we have two dataset files there. So we just need to edit the user 3000 TSV file. So if you use V editor, you just press I on your keyboard to go to the insert mode. You can see let's go to the insert mode, and you have to type just type these 8 fields on the first line and split it by tab there. So first the user ID, username, friend count, let's do that. So it should be the user ID, user name, and what's next? Friend count, follow count. Oh, there's typo there. And I think that's data content and favorite count. And the last thing is the count age and the user location. Make sure you use tab to split each field and the user location. So I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fields on the first line and split these 8 fields by tab. When you finish inserting this this headline, and you just press the ESC on your keyboard to quit the insert mode, and write this command line, colon and WQ, write and quit the V editor. So when it's done, you can check the TSV file. See, the first line has a field there, so that means you already successfully insert the headline on the dataset file. When you finish this part, you can go to the next step. Insert the MongoDB, insert the dataset into MongoDB. So first, you create a TSV file and add a headline on the TSV file. Then you can do the insert step to insert this data into MongoDB. So here, this import Mongo script can help you to insert it, but we can check what command line can help you do that. So if you want to learn more about how to use the command line to insert the data into MongoDB, you can go to the import script. So you can find there what command line we use that. So we use Mongo import, this command line, to help to insert data into the MongoDB. So, but the easiest way just run the import Mongo script for you. So just let us run it. So make sure we create a database and create a collection in our MongoDB. The database name is the sample project, and the collection name is the sample. So just follow this command line and type the right name there. So let's do it. So here, let's go to our image. So just type in the sample project. That's our project database, and we use sample as our collection, and we use TSV type file, and we want to use a TSV file. So see, when you finish typing this command on your terminal, you will see and imported 3,000 documents into the MongoDB. When it's done, I think data is already in it, and we can go there and check what's happening. Go to your MongoDB, show DBs, I think there, and use sample project. I think that's sample project. And show collections. Make sure you go to the right collection, and there. Sample.find.count. How many data are in this sample collection? So right now you have 3,000 data there. Also, you can see what data looks like in this collection. See, this is one data. So you can see the MongoDB automatically create an ID for you, and there are 8 fields key value pairs in this document. You can find the the dataset that are successfully inserted into the relative key values. So here, when you're done it, so means you get ready for our project A, and because for our project A, you want you to reformat the data and insert this data into the MongoDB. So when you've done this, you can do some research about this insert dataset. Now here, there's a many query sample here. You can try it here. So first, we already try how many documents in our collection. So we just insert this. We just type this command line on our MongoDB, and MongoDB see we have 3,000 data there. Also, we can go there. We can use this. How many users has less than 100 friends there? So we just use this command line, this query to find how many friends how many users has this one less than 100 friends. So we can copy it. I think we can copy it and paste it on the MongoDB. So here, so there are 365 users has less than 100 friends there. So, if you want to do more research about this data, you can try many queries there. You can build your query, and I think this can help you to learn how to use MongoDB, how to use the Mongo share. For that, you see, I just use the AND condition for this query method. So you can build your method to query any useful for any requirements. So for the project, you have to learn it. Because when you insert data, you have to do some, research about that. So before you start your project, you could try to learn how to build your own query method. I think that's very important for you to do this project. So does anyone have a question about this training work, about the JetStream, about the instance? So I can help you to solve these questions. Okay, one question.
Okay. How many people, and we have a small group on the call right now, but how many people are up and going with JetStream, and they've gotten into their MongoDB database, and they're just maybe played with the little bitty data sets and are ready to go? Okay, we've got one. Corey. Other people? Good. Mark, good. Okay, so Satya is still learning. I looked around a little bit, not fully ready. Brent, you probably want to get moving this week. Okay, my allocation, Thomas is just getting started. Okay, now played with the data set. JetStream ID, didn't load my key yet. Setup done, started playing with it. Not fully ready either, still waiting on allocation. I got it set up, but I've not played with the data. Halfway through the checklist. What is the checklist, you?
I don't know what's the checklist. I think that's maybe students want to say that that's the weekly event, not the checklist. We post the weekly event on the course info, so and students think that's the checklist.
Okay, play with the data. Okay, so yeah, it seems like we can to people may want to. Let me see, we got a couple more messages here. Going through, was able to load MongoDB using another service. Okay, how about as you mentioned, what data set were we to play with? Where is the data set where people?
So actually, this sample data set is part of our project's data set. So we have 10,000 data set for this project, and we choose these three. We have 10,000 data set for the project A, but we choose 3,000 from this data set, and we post it as our training work for you. So if you get it, if you finish this training work, it means you are ready for this project A.
Okay, so where is this data set? Mark says it's in Box, but I was encouraging us not to use Box. I saw something else that said it was in Canvas. So where is it?
So I post on this both place, make sure students, because sometimes students miss some notification about where we post our data. So I post it on both places. But in our discussion, I will mention that we just use the cameras to do that.
So right now, the test data set is sitting both in the Canvas resources and in Box.
Yeah, so just go to our cameras and go to the file.
That's okay. We don't need to do that. I think, okay, so tell me, this is a question not to you, but to the group. So how do you get the data from Box or Canvas into MongoDB? So please chat. Give me a little more detail than WinSCP. Okay, so WinSCP from Windows.
Yeah, Windows system use WinSCP to transfer data, and Mac system use SCP, this command line, to transfer data into the image. So I already posted a tutorial how to transfer files into image, so you can view it and get it.
So good. So then people cannot extracted the file yet. I was trying that just now.
Oh yeah. So here's the one thing for the.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Let's just let this chat go a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. So Mark is saying, you do WinSCP to your Windows desktop, and then you do a Mongo import once you're in the VM, okay? And people have gotten through, there was a custom access to MongoDB, not extracted the file yet. I started trying that just now. Okay, I'm also doing the WinSCP. Good. Satya, good to see that. Okay, good. Okay. Okay, and then again, remind me, there was some issue with getting access to the MongoDB to configure it.
Mm-hmm.
What was needed there?
So you just, okay, so let me show you the.
Oh no, you just tell me. I don't need to see it. That's okay.
So just go to the MongoDB configuration file, comment the security and the authentication lines. So and restart the Mongo. So means then the MongoDB don't.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, people were asking one of the discussions. Now I get it. Yeah, for that sample data set, they wanted to drop it into their own data collection within, or their own project within MongoDB, and they wanted to create a new one.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, they had to have the rights in the MongoDB data to create these new databases. And then to do that, you had to kind of go in you had to override the permissions. And that's what you was talking about. So again, it depends on, where you put that trial file that you're working with. Other people, so it sounds like people are generally doing okay.
Yeah.
Most people are using Windows. It looks like I got one Mac user here. Corey. Okay, Rose is also using a Mac. Okay. Oh, we're just not hearing from the Mac people. Okay, SCP on Mac OS. Good. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now the Mac people start coming out. Okay. So Robert is just figuring out how to do that file. Yeah. And what this project is, the project is, after you've done a lot of what you has taken you through, the project is pretty straightforward. You're taking a larger data set. You're putting it in your virtual machine, you're going to import it into your MongoDB database, and then you're going to do some manipulation of it in a kind of a data pipeline cleaning kind of way. And then you'll do some plotting. So it's, again, much of what this project, this part A of the project is, you've already done, but in pieces. So the project will just be tying it together. And it shouldn't be, again, once you're up and going, it shouldn't take you long at all to get it done. Carlos, the project will go out on Friday. It'll be due in a couple weeks. And you'll send us your output. There'll be some visualization output that you'll send us. You'll be basically plotting Twitter profiles for a region. And then you'll answer some questions about what you did. So you'll have a couple weeks to do it. And it'll go out. We're going to try to get it out Thursday or Friday this week. Yeah, I think so, Rose. I think it will be too. We're talking now about a follow-on project that'll be a bit more complex, but this one should be quite straightforward. There's scripts you have to run, but those are provided for you. Okay, so at this point in time, we just run through the examples. Correct? Yeah, Brent. Yes, all that's needed right now. If you're able to get into your MongoDB, especially loading that sample data set in, you're good to go. Yes, that's all we need of you at this point in time. The plotting, what are we using for plotting you? I could look at the write-up. Let me look.
I think, hold on.
Yeah, Mark, I don't think it's Python. I don't think we're asking you to do anything fancy here, and I think it's a tool that does that plotting, but I have to pull out the description. Yeah, I think you're modifying some JavaScript, it looks like. It's really straightforward. Really straightforward. Okay, you know what I was also going to say while I've got you on and while you hasn't muted me yet.
Sorry.
Really, bye. So I appreciate everybody's discussion in Piazza over this this guy right here. Yeah. Thank you. You very timely. Yeah. So let me just talk about how we rolled this out for the other section that we did. So we were, okay, so what you're looking at right here, and I appreciate everybody's discussion. I think, I love the thinking that people are doing here. What we're trying to get people to do is reason about a couple different applications, and I'll just let you, you can turn on your mic and talk about this. We're small enough we can do this. So suppose you've got a couple petabyte data set, and suppose it's hotel rooms. So in Singapore, you've got all the hotel rooms that are in East Asia, and in the London cluster, and it's all one big NoSQL store. And in the London cluster, you've got all the hotel rooms for Europe. But you've got people in Europe who want to reserve hotels in Singapore, and you've got people in East Asia, and you've got people in East Asia who want to reserve hotels in Europe. So how are you going to partition that data set across both these clusters such that there's a sharding strategy and a replication strategy, and there's a 20% overlap so that each cluster holds 20% of the data held by the other cluster? And further, if you can drop down a little bit,
Okay.
So in this strategy, you have to adhere to both a data sharding strategy, which partitions data across the nodes, and a data replication strategy, which gives you redundancy for your data, some level of redundancy for your data. And one final aspect, and this may get a little too complex on a virtual line here, but the Fowler video talked about consistency and availability. And in the simple example that he gave, he said, under the case of, and let me put this out here as a question. He was talking about the duplicate booking of the hotel room between him and his friend. And he said, under consistency, what happens? And under availability, what happens? So under a state of strong consistency, what happens to that hotel booking system? People recall? Okay, so Chris, in this scenario, the data being sharded, replicated, it's hotel rooms, yes, both in Europe and in Asia. Yeah, this is kind of hard to roll out here. But if you recall from the Fowler scenario, from the Fowler video, there was under the consistency scenario, the entire system. Yeah, Brett, thank you so much for answering. Yeah, in the scenario in the video, when consistency was when you were favoring consistency, the entire system would go down, and when you were favoring availability, you would get that room would be double booked. So those are the two cases. So okay, so let me just so I guess but this is what in this other section, which again we're in person and not in video, so this is harder. So I'm just kind of trying this concept out to see if we can have a conversation about this that's a little more complex to think about. So let me just go to the chat and see what's going on here. Okay, consistency would have given them both the booked room. So Brent, no, it's really the availability that would have given them the same room. Consistency would have shut the system down all over the place. In favor of availability, conflicting reservations would come in. Yes, Chris Falter, thank you very much. Yes. With higher consistency, yes. Yeah, Mark, good. With higher consistency, you have to accept lower availability. And that was the CAP theorem that Fowler was talking about. And then Chris, yes, you need a business process to work out the conflict after the fact if you favor availability. And then yes, Yes, and Chris, the example that Fowler gave was you might have a block of rooms that you could give up, that you would set aside for this purpose of double bookings. You could resolve it. If you favor consistency, the lower availability would probably be measured by slower response time. That is, yeah, that's not entirely true, because, well, consistency is more expensive to implement, so it takes up time in the implementation, or by failed reservations. Yeah, that's probably closer to how I would see it also. Other thoughts? So just a quick question. I mean, someone answer this for me that maybe hasn't weighed in up to this point. You had a 2 petabyte data set, and you had to, you lift the slide again. You have a 2 petabyte data set of these hotels in these different locations. How would you take care of the 20% overlap? What would you do with that? Thought it would be used for load balancing. Okay, if a region gets too busy, good. Okay, Chris would use it for replicating between the data centers. Okay, I think those are both viable answers. Yeah, you can only replicate 20% of what you've got. Okay. Okay. Another thought that came up that I thought was an interesting thought was to use that as a cache. You could take that 20% and use it as a cache, so that the East Asian hotels that are most popular for Europe could be cached on the European side. I thought that was an interesting use of it also. So I guess this is a little bit of a trial run here. And I guess I would like to, you has things that he needs to get across here, but I would like to try to have discussions in this forum that allow you to think about things. We'll use the piazza, but I'd like to also, use this too. So I guess just we have to kind of get our mindset around having that kind of discussion and making it productive. But this is kind of a sample of what I've been trying to do. It works very well in an in-person setting. We just need to make it work in a virtual setting also. Okay, and then one last thing, and then I'll turn things back over to you. On the piazza, we set up our own discussion thread, so you all could discuss this particular example on the piazza thread, or this particular case on the piazza thread. Do me a favor when you engage in that conversation. We had a little bit of this going on early on in the thread where Eric, let me see, it wasn't Eric, it was, where is it? It was Tim, Mark, Tim Mazik, Mark McComb, and Abahut Agasti were talking in response to one another. And I put a little note out there, but there were a couple of them like that, but I encourage you to weigh in on other people's discussions so that you're part of a discussion. It started out that way, and then people just started posting stuff that was in response to what I was asking, but really wasn't acknowledging what other people were saying. So I strongly encourage, when you do go in to weigh in on the piazza thread, that you actually look to weigh in on what colleagues are saying and make it a conversation thread and not just a posting at us. So just something else just for refinement, but I think we'll all get more out of it when we're all just not one-way posting. That's no fun. It's no fun for for you all to read through that. And so anyway, just try to make it more conversational and post against what somebody else is saying and not just, your opinion independent. So let me come back to the, okay, let me come back. There's a couple more comments that have been added later. Let me come back to, go back to those. Okay. And then, okay, so Joseph talks about, would caching fall under replication? And Joseph, I would say caching is independent of replication. It is replicating, but there are no guarantees on availability on a cache. When a cache gets too full, something gets thrown out. So you've lost your replica because of a caching strategy. So you never use your cache for replication because you can't trust it. And then Chris Falter said, only 20%. How could 20% of the hotels make it possible to give customers on one side of Global Good Choice of the hotel rooms on the other side? Yeah, and Chris, I mean, this is a good point, but if there are probably hotels that are more popular than others, especially like Beijing during the Olympics. I bet those hotels were incredibly popular, and they probably made up 20% of East Asia's hotel base. So you could use a caching, temporary caching based on where the need happens to be. World Cup ends up there, something like that. Okay, so Chris Falter, there is a trade-off represented by the 20% choice, but it hasn't been discussed or justified. So Chris, explain your trade-off. Oh, hasn't been discussed or justified until now. That's yes, I agree with that. Yeah, this was meant to be open-ended so that we would then discuss it. And I think what I need to do is give you a little more information for the Piazza discussion so that it's not quite so open-ended. The intention was to get people thinking about it and then to discuss it. But again, you all were discussing it in the form you're discussing. And I think that the lesson for me is to give you a little bit more context. Back to Piazza. Angelica, do you want individual responses to each post, or is responding to others constitute participation? Yeah. No, don't feel like you have to respond to everybody's posts. The online courses, there's 94 of you. You would all be busy a long time making repetitive, plus, thumbs up signs, So, okay, good. All right. And then Chris is saying you can try to optimize, minimize the cost in a trade-off. But as you mentioned, okay, but I don't think the trade-off can be completely eliminated. I agree with that, Chris. I mean, you make a good point. Good. Are there other? Okay, good. Okay, you, I don't know if you're done or not, but back over to you.
Okay, so for this discussion, I have one thing to tell you. So most students use different accounts in our Piazza. So like in the beginning of our class, we just enroll the emails the class emails into Piazza and split it into the different groups. But if you use a different account and you logging into the Piazza, we cannot share the group information to you. Please, if you use a different account, if you use a different account, if you use a new account in Piazza, please let us know, and we will add your email account into the group again. Because some student email us that he cannot see the unified reflection on Piazza because he used a new account and this account hasn't been added into the group work. So please let us know if you use a new account and if you cannot see this unified reflection. So you can email us or you can post. You can make a post on Piazza and we will add you to this discussion group.
So thank you for that. Yeah, and I think we missed people because of these email address changes on Piazza. So yeah, we will occasionally, because again you're a completely online section, we will occasionally direct things just at you, and so we want to make sure we're getting to everybody. Okay, so we've got a conversation going on the calendar and Canvas. We're using the calendar in edX, aren't we?
Yeah, we have here.
Okay, yeah. So Carlos is talking about the calendar. about our calendar. Like we can pull that up.
So go to the edX, go to schedule, you will find that we have a calendar there. A lot of information.
So it doesn't say, well, what's missing on this calendar are when things are due.
Where is it?
Yeah, this looks like it's a good office hours and discussion, but it's not saying when things are due. And then I think what Carlos is asking for is deadlines on assignments and projects. I mean, you know, Carlos, you know, we have 15 lessons throughout this semester, 15 lessons and 2 projects. Okay, the lessons, they go out on Monday night. We talk about them. They go out Tuesday morning, Monday night. They go out Tuesday morning. They're due the following Monday. This is every week. It happens every week. Okay, except for the few that aren't due. But there, you know, you can expect on Tuesday morning to have a new lesson to wake up to, and then they're due the following Monday. But then the projects are a little bit different, and there's 2 of those, and they've got 2-week duration. So it's really only the projects that you need to track in terms of different dates. And I think we need to do a better job getting those out there to you. The project will be due the end of October. It's but it'll be about a 2.5-week project. So again, it's a very routine system of 15 lessons through the course of a 15-week semester. Okay, so people like me that come from an analytical background, I would love the feedback. Thomas, even ensure I'm understanding the concepts correctly. So Thomas, when you say feedback, okay, tell me what you're thinking about. Thomas Hager. Normally I would read through.
Oh, I'll just go ahead and turn my mic on.
Thank you.
That's much easier. And just make sure stay quiet, buddy, okay? Basically, I just various comments on posts, you know, to make, you know, because I'm still learning a lot of these concepts and to make sure I'm not completely off base. And I need to do a lot better on asking questions myself or asking for feedback as well. So normally if I'd see something I don't fully understand, I would just kind of look it up on my own instead of, you know, asking what's the story behind this and what do I need to know about it. And, you know, this was really good feedback you mentioned, because it tells me what I need to be doing a lot more to be able to learn this, because this is exactly what I want to learn. So
do me a favor, Thomas, just to, you know, if you've got a question, put that in the top of your Piazza response so that it's easier to spot, because I go through and I'll read these all, but I'm not reading them all, you know, as carefully as I could, especially if I knew there was something I needed to be on the lookout for. So I do need these signals, because in general, people are responding in ways that I think are quite appropriate and what one would expect. But if there's something you want to call to our attention, you know, make that evident in the earlier part of the posting.
sounds perfect.
Okay, good. Okay, now let me pop back up here. Let me see, feedback on what? Okay, Chris, we answered that question. Chris Falter, Thomas, okay, Satya, agree with Carlos. Okay, Canvas, okay, calendar and Canvas would be helpful. Again, there's such a repetition here, but you know, we can certainly get that added. It'll really be the project. So Satya, how about if we just add the project due dates to the calendar? Would that be helpful? Would that satisfy it? Because the rest of it is all just extremely repetitive. Okay, so feedback. Okay, so I'm just curious how these reflections will be graded. Initially, it was planned to be posted in Canvas, and now it changed to Piazza. Satya, let me just clarify on the reflections. We have 15 lessons. We have 15 things you do, one for every lesson. And those things that you do are going to be an assignment, a graded assignment, in which case you have to submit through Canvas because that's the only place where your information of record, your university information of record, can be known. So there's assignments, there's discussions, and then there's like multiple choice things that you do in video. So all 15 units have something to do, and it's either going to be an assignment through Canvas, a discussion, or a multiple choice reflection. Does that help? So what changed to Piazza was that I made a discussion. I took one of the reflections and I wanted us to discuss it. And since you're an online class, it was easier to post this to Piazza and have you discuss it, and then we would discuss it and follow up here. So wait, now we got Satya maybe, sure. No, okay, so good. Satya, thank you for asking the question about the thread, all the conversation threads. We're not using Canvas for the conversation threads, so ignore Canvas for the conversation threads. The only thing you're using Canvas for is to post your assignment. And now I think we're using it to put some resources there because I wanted us to not be using Box anymore. And edX is not a good platform for posting resources. Okay, other questions of that kind of nature? Those are important to get sorted out. Okay, hey, okay, good. Good, okay, I'm good. Krishna, I'm good, I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so I think unless you've got any final words, I think we're done here.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, hey, thanks a lot, everyone. We'll see you next week. Great.